Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of Storytime. My name's Charlie Malone and this week I'm sharing The Shortest Day, Celebrating the Winter Solstice by Wendy Pfeffer and illustrated by Judy Reisch. The winter solstice is coming up on December 21st, next Friday, and it's an event, the shortest day of the year and the return of the sun, that many different cultures celebrate in different ways. And I think it's a way that we can bring people together if we figure out ways to celebrate it together. So let's read this book together. The Shortest Day, Celebrating the Winter Solstice by Wendy Pfeffer and illustrated by Judy Reisch. In late autumn, in the northern part of the world, squirrels hide nuts, foxes grow thick fur coats, and flocks of birds fly to warmer places. The sun rises later each morning and sets earlier each evening. Each day it appears lower in the southern sky. As the sun gets lower and lower, the north gets less and less daylight, and the air grows colder. So when the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, as it gets closer to the winter solstice, it doesn't go as high in the sky, and you can see it sort of go lower in the sky. Chickadees fluff their feathers to keep warm, woodchucks hibernate in their burrows, and white-tailed deer nuzzle through the snow to find the last blades of grass. On short winter days, children bundle in warm clothes and walk through a frosty white world, dragging long shadows behind them. On long winter nights, families eat dinner while it's dark outside. Children wonder when the days will get long again so they can play outside after dinner like they did in summer. In the north, on or around December 21st, the sun reaches its lowest point on the horizon, making that day the shortest day of the year. Like all days, December 21st has 24 hours, but it's called the shortest day because it has the fewest hours of daylight. The shortest day, called the winter solstice, which solstice means when the sun stops, is the beginning of winter, and in some places, winter means cold, nose-nipping weather. The earth tilts as it moves around the sun. When the northern part of the earth tilts away from the sun, the north gets less heat and light than the southern part. Long ago, people didn't understand how the earth tilts and moves around the sun. They didn't understand why each day has less sunshine than the day before. And some even believed that maybe spirits made the sun go away. People feared that the sun wouldn't shine on them anymore, making their world cold and dreary, dark. They needed the sun's warmth and light. So did their plants, which they needed for food. And they held ceremonies that lasted for weeks to persuade the gods and spirits to bring the sun back. Over the years, people noticed that after short days, the days got gradually longer. Joyous people bathed in the sun's warmth and light. About 5,000 years ago, people who studied the sky noticed that day after day the sun set in different positions, different places on the western horizon. They discovered that when the sun set farthest south, that was the shortest day. These early astronomers planned to mark the shortest day. Then each year people would know when the days would start getting longer again. On the day when the sun reached its southernmost point on the horizon, the astronomers carried out a plan. Workers stacked stones to frame the setting sun. They made a special opening like a keyhole or the eye of a needle. And when the setting sun's rays beamed through that opening, people knew the shortest day was over. Days gradually got longer for the next 6 months. When the sun appeared farthest to the north, its rays shone through another keyhole. People knew it was the longest day of the year, the first day of summer, the summer solstice. In China, over 3,000 years ago, astronomers measured shadows to determine the shortest day. The longest shadows appeared on the shortest day because the sun was at its lowest point in the sky. They knew that as the sun appeared higher in the sky, the shadows would get shorter and the days would get longer. That only works if you measure the shadows at the same time of the day. Just saying. Over 2,000 years ago, Romans celebrated the shortest day with festivals and merrymaking. They gave evergreen branches to friends as a sign of good luck. Evergreen wreaths decorated their doors. And since these plants stayed green when others turned brown, they reminded the Romans of the coming spring. Mistletoe and holly hung in their homes because plants that survived the harsh winter were symbols of life. Many people believed these plants would bring strength to their families. About 1,000 years ago, Europeans celebrated the winter solstice. Druid priests of England and Ireland decorated oak trees with golden apples and candles to represent harvest and light. In Sweden, a festival of light celebrated the return of longer days. On St. Lucia's Day, girls wore crowns of evergreens and candles to rekindle the sun's fire as they delivered warm buns to family and friends. And boys went from door to door singing to their neighbors for a few coins. When I read this story to kids, they always point out to me, isn't that a little dangerous having a hat on your head, a wreath on your head with lit candles? I don't know. Around the same time in history, the Incas of Peru marked the shortest day with a festival in honor of the sun. At dawn, when the sun first appeared, shouts of happiness rang out. Then the Incas used a shiny surface to reflect the sun's rays onto fluffy, dry cotton. So that's something like mica or something, or some kind of rock or mineral. The sun heated the cotton and made it burst into flame. They carried the fire to their temples and kept it burning on the altars all year because it came from one of their gods, the sun. Today, people still celebrate at the beginning of winter by decorating their houses, lighting the darkness, gathering together, and exchanging gifts. They no longer worry so much that the sun will disappear forever, but we still want to have ways of getting through the dark days. People know that days get colder when their part of the earth tilts away from the sun. They know that days get shorter when the sun appears lower in the sky. People celebrate the shortest day because longer days follow. Flocks of birds will return, seedling oak trees will sprout, and children can play outside after dinner. For more than 5,000 years, people have welcomed the winter solstice because it's a new beginning. So at the school that I teach at, we have a bonfire, and the kids make baskets where they put their wishes, with the help of their teachers, their wishes for the new year and things that they're thankful for, and then we put their nature baskets with their wishes and things they're thankful for on the fire, and we send them up into the sky, into the ether, into the heavens. This book is great. It has a whole page on some science facts about how the seasons change. Then it has some activities you can do. Make a winter sunrise sunset chart, measure shadows on the shortest day, find the sun's northernmost and southernmost points, try to sort of demonstrate and make sense of this idea that the earth is on a tilt with an experiment, make some winter solstice sun cupcakes, winter solstice party for the birds. And I think it's a good book. I hope you enjoyed it. So until next time, have a great week and bye-bye.